No, literally. No, the Israeli fought forward. The Israeli. I'll go in. DEFCON 3. On. Palestinian people. Oh, it's like a drill sergeant gone bad.
Like a puppet. Yeah. She's literally lost it. She's literally lost it.
Going on, people, it's your boy B Yaks, and welcome to another episode of Fly on the Wall Perspective.
Hi, everyone. I'm back, Sharon.
This is going to be a saucy one.
Yeah.
So Piers Morgan has finally interviewed Candice Owens on Piers Morgan Uncensored.
Lol.
But listen, without no further ado,
Let's just get straight into it.
Sharon, would you like to do the honours?
I will. Here we are. Let's go.
My next guest is a hugely influential YouTube commentator with an army of followers, a person who says they were fired for speaking their mind, but then came roaring back with an even bigger show. And no, it's not me. Candice Owens launched her new independent show this week. She's previously described me as dishonest, a snake, and a toddler. But in the true spirit of Uncensored, I'm delighted to say Candice joins me now for our first ever interview. So finally, Candice Owens, we get to do an interview.
I'm very happy to be here, Piers. I promised. And honestly,
Can I just say before this starts, I am nervous for them both. But let's go. Already, I'm just like,
what the people want.
gosh, match. What is it? This is like unrivaled. What is it? Like the biggest rivalry.
This is
Two giants.
King Kong meets Godzilla.
Exactly, basically. Yeah. Let's go.
and honestly, credit to your producer because she just was like, I'm going to make it happen no matter what. So
I
great
have
to
a
be
bunch
here.
of ruthless Rottweilers of both genders. There you go. And what did you want? Because you are a fascinating public figure. There's no question about that. I think we're going to have a fascinating interview. I do want to go into some more detail before we start, though, to show the level of my generosity in giving you this platform on my show, given some of the stuff you've said about me. So April 2022, when I launched the show with my interview with Trump, it all kicked off, obviously, you said if my team was unethical and dishonest as the snake Piers Morgan, we'd have sensationally edited this clip of Trump to make it look like he threw a tantrum and asked the cameras to be shut off when in reality the interview was over and we simply wanted to chat off camera. I responded, I bow to your superior knowledge of being a snake, Candice. Tune in on Monday and you'll learn something about real interviews. You then said Piers is whatever he has to be on any given day for attention. He's not guided by any set of principles, which is why I say both sides need to stop platforming his sensationalism. In March of that year, I accused you of falling for Putin's propaganda when he invaded Ukraine.
What is going on
And I called
here?
Putin the new Hitler. You said you're such a toddler, Piers, that's way too old to be seriously
Candice
entering
loves it.
in a
She's just
literally
like,
Hitler
yes, I do.
analysis. Keep yourself contained to mean tweets about Meghan and Harry while the adults
He's
discuss
indifferent as
foreign
well.
affairs, NATO,
like he's
and
not
Western
even reading
hegemony.
things said about him.
In March the same
There's
year,
no
you wrote with a
response.
picture of Finding Freedom, the most historical thing Piers Morgan has ever read. In January 2022, you said, I find Piers Morgan to be morally inconsistent, which breeds intellectual dishonesty. I welcome a public discussion with him about systemic racism,
Factual.
a topic with which he's impassioned, although apparently not impassioned enough to speak with me about it. Why do you suppose that is? You added, we're all on the edge of our seat waiting for an
My
answer here, Piers
goodness.
Morgan. Well, okay.
You
I'm
should do that
here.
more often. I like when you read mean tweets about Piers Morgan. That was great. I salute you for that. That was
Well,
wonderful.
Exactly. And the truth is, I actually do want to give you a platform, and I have no problem with that. I would.
Gosh. It's like, what an introduction. Do you know what I mean? You just sit there and listen. This is basically what we've come to, right? Two, well-known, not respected, but well-known commentators, like political voices, just before they even get into the ring, just basically inflating one another's ego. Because Piers is that's for him as well, you know. All of that talk is to make him feel good. And I'm the victim. Look at all these horrible things you've said about me. And Candice is just like,
But he doesn't even care though. This is all part of the spectacle.
It's like a villain, you know. The both of them are just wild. The wild. Okay, so let's get into it. Let's get into the actual parts of the the show.
It's not about specific numbers. It's about an intent.
But it has to be.
Well, no, it's not. It's about an intent to eradicate.
That's not true, Piers, because in America they say that Native Americans, it was a genocide committed by white men. This is what they say, right?
No, but I'm
Do you
talking
agree
about
with
what the definition of a genocide is.
But what I'm telling you is that would be incorrect because the majority of Native Americans died from smallpox. It was accidental. Some 90% of the Native Americans that lived here died from smallpox, and it's considered a genocide.
No, I understand. I'm telling you what the definition of genocide is, which is not about a specific number in any circumstance. It's about an intent to target and eradicate a whole people based on their ethnicity.
How is it not about the numbers?
I don't know why Piers always does this. Why does he always want to he is always he always wants to clarify the semantics of this Israel and Palestine war. He really likes to ask his
7th of October.
For specifics about it, and it's I don't understand what you're trying to get from it. When you're having this kind of dialogue with people who are so intelligent, so opinionated, so clued in onto what's going on, why do you want to always reduce the argument to how many people each side killed to make it equal? This is not about that. What is actually happening? That whole war is bigger than what's actually being discussed.
Exactly.
It's so painful for both sides. It's so painful, but it's actually crazy.
It's getting exploited.
It's just out of control.
It's
just out of control.
Being getting milked by people like
you know what I mean? Constantly, all the time.
We say within America that Native Americans, a genocide was committed against Native Americans. Factually speaking, 90% of them, 90 to 93% of them died from smallpox. So it was actually an epidemic, right? So is the definition shifting? Because it is my understanding from Rabbi Barclay that the definition of anti-Semitism shifts. So maybe the definition of genocide has shifted.
She's not the one.
Well, let me read you. Well, let me read
that genocide.
Well, let me read you the exact.
School,
let me read you the exact wording and see whether you think it applies to. Well, let me read you the exact definition of genocide from the Oxford English Dictionary: the deliberate killing of a large number of people from a particular nation or ethnic group with the aim of destroying that nation or group.
That's
I thought it wasn't. Didn't he just say it's not about the number?
Yeah, but in the dictionary it says large number. What is the number? Because someone in the Amazon who's not seen the amount of people. We live in a city. How many people live in London? Millions of people. Some people in certain areas of the world have never seen even thousands of people.
Let alone that. Look, did you just hear what he said a couple of minutes before that?
I know, he said the number, yeah. I feel I hope she picks up on that.
So by that definition, do you believe that is what's happening to the Palestinian people and it's being perpetrated by Israel?
Well, I would say is that Israel has proven in the past that they can be very specific when they want to get somebody out, whether that's a hostage or any other certain military operation. And what I am seeing happening, forgetting the specific language of a genocide, is something that I'm using my platform to speak out against, because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter to me what the media calls me. I've had every headline. I do not believe that they are being careful in what they are doing. I think it has been it seems to me that the destruction of the hospitals and the schools and of the UN buildings. Would you say, Piers, that you believe that's unintentional?
I do not believe Israel's waging genocide. I think that...
You believe, but I'm asking you, do you believe that the targeting going room to room in the hospitals
is intentional?
Well, no,
I'll be clear with you. I can answer the question. I have said repeatedly in the last few weeks and months that I think the proportionality of Israel's response is now unacceptable, and particularly since they decided to go into Rafah, a refugee camp that they set up to then target Hamas.
So why did he...
Piers wasn't saying this before. A couple of months ago, he wasn't saying this.
Forget what... Did you just hear what he said a couple of seconds before that? Oh, man.
This man is so dangerous.
I don't know how he gets away with it. It's entertainment, isn't it?
Is it?
What? It's not entertainment, this?
It is entertaining because I've actually been laughing my head off about this for so many hours. It's only been out.
Are we the only people that's noticing this hypocrisy?
No, I mean 3 million people so far have literally watched.
Foolery.
3 million views. Yeah, it's wild. It's wild. It's wild.
Snake oil salesman of a person. Piers Morgan.
You're bound to kill so many
bound to kill
innocent
some.
civilians in the process, I think is unacceptable. But I'm just curious, given that you tweeted about genocide and no government ever has a right to do it, whether by your calculation from that definition, what Israel is doing is deliberately killing a large number of people from a particular nation or ethnic group with the aim of destroying that nation or group.
Yeah, well, what I can say to you, again, because these definitions shift, I don't think we need to focus on the word because I'm telling you what I believe. And my belief is that they are not being careful whatsoever. My belief is that there has been too much loss of Palestinian
But
life.
that's different to genocide, though, isn't it?
Yeah, but okay, that's fine. We don't need to focus. I don't know why you're like obsessing over this one word. It doesn't matter.
Well, because
The point
you
is
tweeted
that
about
I'm telling
genocide.
you, just like you told me.
I'm only trying
the
to clear
tweet
up what...
is about Brian Mast. So you're harping on this issue. There's a lot more topics that we should talk about. I'm being very clear in how I feel about this issue.
Both sides.
The Israeli government is not being careful in how they're dealing with this.
That's
I
fair
agree
enough.
with you that the amount of death has been completely unacceptable. When I tweeted that was back in November. So we're talking way more lives that have been lost, and that tweet was about Brian Mast. So
I get it. Now, here's
I could
my
have
reason.
never imagined the amount of dead Palestinian children that I would see on my X feed since then.
It's horrific.
You know, it's heartbreaking to me as a mother.
Is
It's
it, Piers?
horrific to me that the media seems almost complicit in the dehumanization of Palestinians, and I will not
passionate
be
he was about
on that side, because at the end of the day, the hit pieces, the name calling, the anti-Semitism, the psychopathic language that seems to be coming out of people means nothing. And I want to make sure everybody knows this, right? At the end of the day, you are going to have to account to God for the things that you allow.
Here we go. Here we go.
Yeah.
What did I say when P. Diddy made that apology? Oh, God. It's like in his darkest moments.
That you did not have enough courage to state.
Okay.
The amount of death of Palestinian children has been unacceptable, full stop.
Okay.
Bibi Netanyahu, in my view, should not be given an invitation to Congress. I think it's unacceptable.
I agree.
Unacceptable.
I don't
and
think
to
he
be
should
clear,
be-
for whatever the
He
reason,
shouldn't be leader
when
of
it comes to
Israel.
the topic of Israel, it does seem that journalists are fearful to critique Israel.
Well, I'm
now,
not at
why
all.
is that?
So-
Because I would say, Piers, that
Taking it
you too, you seem a little fearful to critique Israel and to want to always seem that you're coming across a little bit understanding of everything they're doing. What is it that makes journalists, corporate journalists,
okay, let me respond.
fearful of saying,
Can I
like, hey,
respond?
you know, Israel has done a ton of things that have been very wrong.
Yes, and I have said they're wrong. I think Netanyahu should go. I think half of that cabinet should go, because some of them have definitely been using genocidal language. I think a lot of what Israel's been doing in the last few weeks is completely unacceptable. But
last
ultimately,
few weeks?
I also, from the start of this conflict, believe that Israel not only had a right to defend itself after the terror attack on October the 7th, but a fundamental duty to its people. And here's where I'm just curious about your tweeting through this procedure, this whole war, because on October the 7th, you didn't tweet anything. You didn't tweet anything on October the 8th. And October the 9th, you tweeted, so much world peace ever since we got the orange man out of office. So glad the adults are back in charge. A lot of people say, well, if you care this much about innocent people being killed, why didn't you say anything when 1,200 people were massacred to death?
What? So do you know what? So now when you tweet something or when you post something, that is that is like a viable recognition that you.
That build up just to say that.
Can you imagine? And also, it's like, and you don't understand. Piers is so like wild.
Manipulated, but he's so calculated.
He's
though.
so aware of what he's doing. All of
so-
that information that he provided in that small thing, just to mention, basically, she didn't post anything on the 7th and on the 8th. But what has her?
It's a lot of nothing there, isn't it?
But a lot of things. Do you know what I mean? That's like putting in a lot of information and kind of already slightly steering the viewer to start to see.
But
the position
he's
from his
remixed his
perspective.
usual introduction about the 7th of October being the most horrific attack that's happened against a certain group of people, blah, 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 blah. He's used that like 100 million times now, so he's had to remix it this time.
Yeah, it's just great. It's honestly, this is the most bizarre thing I've ever actually encountered.
Massacred to death in the most brutal, barbaric manner in this awful terror attack by Hamas, and nearly 7,000 more were wounded, some of them catastrophically and irreparably. Why did that not compel you to say anything?
Well, first and foremost, Israel's a foreign country, so typically I talk about topics that have to do with America. Secondly, you're only quoting my Twitter feed. I'm also on Facebook. I'm also on Instagram. I also had a daily podcast in which I did respond directly about what happened and called the events horrific. Multiple times, said what Hamas did was absolutely horrific. So you're using a snapshot of my Twitter feed where you're acknowledging that I didn't tweet for days to suggest that I didn't have anything to say about what had happened. Now, to be clear, I am consistent on all matters. I do not want America involved whatsoever in anything that is happening in Israel. I don't want.
One thing about Candice is that she's very, very clear on what she wants to say. She doesn't mince her words. She knows exactly what she wants to say, how she wants to. This is someone who is so.
But a lot of nonsense comes out of that mouth as well, though.
You think?
As smart as she is, I've talked about her enough.
Yeah.
She was the first.
I mean, what is your view on her?
Winner.
Because
I've already spoke about Candice Owens. Obviously, I've been watching her a lot longer than you.
Yeah.
You know, so she's prides herself on being a black conservative, and she talks out. She's used hip hop basically by trying to demonize rap music and getting into disputes with people like Cardi B.
Oh gosh.
You know.
Okay, yeah, right.
You're embarrassed because you realize you know nothing about anything when you're on Twitter.
Candice did an 8-minute-long IGTV in response to Cardi on Sunday.
You're only upset because people are telling you on Twitter that you got dragged, because you did get dragged, because you are uneducated when it comes to politics.
Candice also mocked Cardi for asking Biden about lowering taxes while also wanting free universal health care. Cardi clarified in a later tweet that she wants her taxes to go to causes she cares about, like education. And that's when Cardi took the feud to Instagram Live.
Why wouldn't Joe Biden sit down with me, Cardi B? I have millions of followers, and I pay millions in taxes. I'm heard all around the world. So just like I can make people pop their and have a good time and make them feel like a bad bitch, I could also encourage millions of followers to go vote. And I don't know what black man broke your heart that you hate your kind so much.
Once the dust seemingly settled, Cardi reflected on the feud and tweeted that she hates arguing with people, adding that she didn't even really know how they started fighting in the first place. As for Candice, she felt like she walked away from the beef victorious. Quote, "She is still tweeting about me. I broke Cardi B."
Like the Breakfast Club spoke about it. It was like, oh, why are you atting Cardi B for? Like she's an entertainer.
Yeah.
why are you asking Cardi B for a debate?
Yeah,
Charlamagne was saying.
Yeah. Charlamagne said.
Yeah, it was just like, why don't you we've got real political figures that you can go up against.
Yeah.
Like black ones as well.
Yeah. She doesn't want that.
who will absolutely wipe the floor over.
Yeah. She doesn't
So
want that.
she's good at what she does, but I see through it.
Yeah.
That's my thing with Candice Owens. So she just entertains me.
I suppose they've got to know what market they're like, how to, they know what they're doing. This is work for them.
Yeah, of course.
basically.
They're playing
This
the
is
same
passionate,
sport.
but it's also a bit of, it's basically them, this is their
A
job.
jeweler.
Yeah.
Online jewel.
On God.
Yeah.
Towards the end of last year, you've been pretty supportive of Ye, formerly Kanye West, even after he tweeted DEFCON 3 on Jewish people. He posted, I'm a bit sleepy tonight, but when I wake up, I'm going DEFCON 3 on Jewish people.
You know, they went to some fancy event, both wearing White Lives Matter jumpers, by the way.
Who?
Candice Owens and Kanye West.
Oh gosh, because they're best friends now.
That was a couple of years ago. That was absolutely obviously.
Her husband must have loved that.
These are like they're PR marketing like gurus.
I don't even know if they're real people anymore at this point. They literally cannot be real human beings at this point. Like they're so disconnected, with what is actually going on. Like for Kanye and Candice to do, I'm not surprised that Kanye does that kind of stuff. He's not living in this real world.
Yeah, this is all like great for her image, being around Kanye West.
Yeah, of course.
Engaging in in debates with Cardi B.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So anyone she can anyone famous that she could have a row with.
Yeah, she'll get on there. Yeah, she's like, please, go on.
You know what I mean? So she's made a name from that.
No. Go on, play it. Let's see.
DEFCON 3 on Jewish people. And you wrote on the social media site Parler, if you're an honest person, you do not think this tweet was anti-Semitic. I mean, I don't know, why would you conclude that? Because it seems to me it's a pretty brazen statement of anti-Semitism to go DEFCON 3 on Jewish people. How else could it possibly how else could it be construed?
Yeah, sure. I can tell you how else it can be construed, because this is one of the things that's fascinating. First, I'd like to point to how interesting it is that the entire world came down on Kanye West, canceled him, took away his contracts, made his entire family come out and make statements against him when he tweeted that he was going to go DEFCON 3 on some Jewish people, I think is what he wrote verbatim. And now we fast forward to today when Israel is literally going DEFCON 3 on Palestinians.
He didn't say some, he said on Jewish people.
Okay, sure. And now we fast forward to today when Israel is literally going DEFCON 3.
Look at his face. He's like, oh no. Oh no. And she's so focused on that point. She's like, no, literally going DEFCON 3.
Oh, what
Palestinians.
No, Candice, Owens.
This is what. She
her
actually
best.
has a reckless mouth.
It's like something come over her.
Yeah. She's not like, this is a different, this is a mega performance. This is like real.
It's like, ironically, now the Jewish people are going DEFCON 3 on the Palestinians.
Compute incorrect.
It's like a Candice Owens, the hand puppet.
What up, everybody? It's your boy Tony, everybody. It's what Tony Puppet Show, everybody. I trick you, motherfuckers, everybody.
No, literally. No, the Israeli fought forward. The Israeli are going DEFCON 3 on Palestinian people. Oh, going, it's like a drill sergeant gone bad.
Like a puppet. Yeah. She's literally lost it. She's literally lost it.
Amazing.
The tweet is actual death, but the actual bombs being dropped, for some reason, real violence is something that the media can get comfortable with. I'd like to point to that because now some time has passed. But to answer your question of how I could have said that statement, obviously, you understand Ye is my friend, and I understood what was happening in his life and what had caused him to say that. He said when he woke up, he was going to go DEFCON 3 on Jewish people. Who's talking about specific Jewish people in his life that he believed had been taking advantage of him. And he then produced, and for whatever reason, the media was not interested in covering it extensively, a tweet from one of those people, Harley Pasternak, threatening to put him on a Psych 5150 hold and to drug him, and so that his visits with his kids wouldn't be the same. How Harley Pasternak has not been chased out of Hollywood after threatening to drug someone and take their kids away is the question that you should be asking. Now, I was privy not only to what Harley Pasternak was saying to him, but also to what 4 other happened to be Jewish people were saying to him at that time. And I think what happened is that he snapped, and he suddenly wanted to aggressively attack those individuals and basically say that he was tired.
Yeah, but Candice, none of that changes the fact that what he tweeted was clearly anti-Semitic. When you say, I'm going DEFCON 3 on Jewish people, that is a statement of anti-Semitism, indisputably. The idea that you would be dishonest if you didn't see that for what it was, whatever the circumstances, whatever was going on behind the scenes. For a guy with his massive...
I feel so sorry.
His massive following.
I feel so bad for Kanye sometimes, man.
That's why I get him on my show every time.
Exactly. Yeah. He always gets dragged around from pillar to post.
Millions.
Yeah. I feel so
shit! Did I just say that?
I feel so bad for Kanye. Honestly.
Do you condemn Hamas?
Any conversation or nonsense, someone always use Kanye as a reference. He's literally like
massive following.
He's literally just like
I love this.
I think he's going to literally become like a whole movement, like a whole like phrase. Do you know what I mean? Like an actual statement of like.
Oh, they memed the hell out of him.
Oh, honestly.
On Piers Morgan.
Honestly. Why?
Since the Hamas-Israel beef.
Got nothing to do with...
Following, which I think we can agree was indisputably massive at the time. For him to state that in public on a social media platform was a brazen act of disgusting anti-Semitism. And all right,
just to be clear, I didn't tweet on Parler. I, on my podcast, gave a full statement saying that if we're being honest, you did not think that he was going to go kill some Jewish people. You didn't. And I
I've
think
never
that
heard
if we're
anyone
being
speak the way
honest,
Well, you said
that
if
a
you're an
single
honest person, you did
thought-
not.
She says some wild
She
stuff.
is. Every time she speaks, it's like a dragon.
How can she?
It's like a dragon.
How come she's
It's like a
allowed
dragon opening their mouth every time, and it's so inflammatory, yeah, and ferocious. Does she rehearse this, you think?
How did she get away with saying these things?
I can see her getting up in the morning just in front of the mirror.
Yeah, like, riling herself up, like, yeah, like just like
Death
she gets
come
into
free.
like
Israeli people.
she gets into like a little trance when she's saying all of this stuff. And you have to understand as well, like, okay, we're actually
Nazis.
laughing.
He loves.
We're actually
It's
laughing
greatest hits.
and joking around these, but these are actually serious topics. These are serious things that they've managed to ridicule. Basically,
exactly.
they've both reduced these topics. Like, actually, when they're
Definitely.
speaking,
they're
you
mixing,
can't.
they're mixing YouTubers with this
But
sort of
because
like
they're-
conversations.
they're
Like
ma-
when real people are dying and real corruption's
People are
going
lo-
in.
people have
and then
lost
this
their
guy's
lives.
making reference to celebrities. And,
In amongst that, like it's like, how can you bring Kanye's name into something?
it's a minstrel show.
So like the magnitude of the war that's happening right now in Israel and Palestine it is not on par with somebody as Kanye. They shouldn't even be in the same category. Why do you keep on the both of them are so aware of how they play that narrative to kind of reduce, and what it's doing is it's not reducing Kanye, it's actually reducing
the credibility
of what's actually happening in Israel and Palestine and at the moment. And
But it makes Piers Morgan money, though.
of course it does.
It's
Do you know
not
who
gonna
else
affect
it makes?
his reputation.
Exactly. Do you know who else it makes money for? Candice. But also it makes money for Kanye. This raises his profile. Every time he's dragged into this kind of nonsense.
Attention economy.
it's-
So this is all just money. All just
Exactly.
rhetoric.
And Kanye has also said no
eyeballs in.
attention. No, Kanye has said, I don't care what you think. You can like me or hate me, but I need you to have an opinion on me. Kanye is aware of what this means. So if you think, oh, how dare Kanye say that about, how could he say DEFCON 3 on Jewish people?
And she's up at that model as well.
Of course.
Candice.
100%. And that's why they're best friends. That's why they both walk around wearing the same jumpers together, wearing what is it called? They go
Black
matching.
bourgeoisie.
They go matching.
They are the textbook definition
With
of,
their lovely babies.
of the black bourgeoisie.
You know,
like
with
the most sort of dangerous people, that black people could look up to.
Honestly, because these people are completely...
Especially black people,
Yeah, because they're divisive. If you think that, I believe what she's saying, or if you look at Kanye and be like, this is a guy that's got his head screwed on, you are out of control.
Out of touch,
These people
out
are
of your
not.
mind.
These people are not like Candice there saying. She's just opening her mouth. What she's saying, she speaks like she's talking like in a lullaby. She's saying so much stuff, like you can never ever think that all of the She's not even saying anything. She's not saying anything for black people. She's not saying all of these things that she's saying these are just words. Even Piers, they just speak about stuff. They talk about things. They don't actually think about these stuff. Like I go away and I think, or randomly I'll be like, man, this is mental the time that we're in. All these wars that are happening now, and I'll think about that, and I'll try and have discussions with my friends and people who are next to me, even my family. We discuss this. How does it impact us? How does it impact our people? How does it impact human society, human race? These people don't care about that.
We're talking about Piers Morgan, someone who fabricated a story about soldiers in World War II, like British soldiers in World War II, to sell a paper, sell stories.
How is he not arrested for this?
This is the sort of person you're dealing with.
Is there not like a journalistic oath?
Look it up yourself.
Yeah, I think we should check if there's a...
Do you know how I found that out? Because I was working for a PR company for a little bit.
Yeah.
And it was like a first-hand experience of how these stories get put together, how they sensationalize things to obviously sell it.
Yeah.
In the end, it could be about knife crime, it could be about music, something, that's a
poverty
anti-knife crime
benefits,
or
anything
youth
that's
work,
bankers,
usually
whatever.
that
They
surrounds
all have
celebrities or people with notoriety. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? Yeah, the owner of that PR company, he told me, he was like, I've met him. You know what I'm saying? He was just he's acting cocky. And then we had a bet on. And then, he lost the bet in the end. Yeah, and then I ended up flipping. He tried, to chat shit to me about something. And I was just like, oh, yeah, so what about that story that you wrote about World
War II.
World War II. So English soldiers, World War II, yeah? Went
Quiet.
red.
He's completely, but shamelessly, right? This shows you that they're like journalism. Remember, I've been asking you, like, honestly, Yaks, what is this about? Like, this isn't media anymore. This is not news. Like, we're not in an age of actual factual news. I think we've reached an age where
Simulation.
It's like, no, but it's actually the opinion. People's opinions are actually current affairs. Does that make sense? Like, that's the thing that we gauge as current affairs. You see what I mean? Like,
and let us know what you think as well.
Yeah,
about that. That's it's a great point. What does everyone else think about people like Piers Morgan?
Yeah.
And
does
Candice,
anyone like
Candice
this?
Owens?
Who watches this? I mean, we watch this because
we need to be able to really, like, this is what Fly on the Wall is about, to really show you that Fly on the Wall perspective and, like, call it out for what it is.
And also hear what other people think.
It's a spectacle that's getting made out of serious topics.
Serious topic at the the benefit
serious
of
war going on in the world. And these are the people. Piers Morgan, millions of followers. Candice Owens, millions of followers.
And this is what they're using their platform for, to do this. Right, let's...
Outrageous. Is that anti-black? Do you think that that's racist?
Well, whatever the circumstances of that wasn't...
No. Piers.
The anti-black card.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't wait for this.
Do you know what it is? She got fired, so now she's black.
Oh, what?
Now that she got fired, she's black.
She's playing the black card now.
Because when she was working at Daily Wire, she wasn't really with us.
She went on Breakfast Club playing the black card. Yeah.
But now she's
getting fired.
Now she's fired.
And the Breakfast, they didn't do a good job of really, like,
they can't handle her.
Questioning.
They can't.
She went in there. She put on another hat. For the gullible, naive Breakfast Club.
I started reading up on, like, Thomas Sowell, Shelby Steele, a bunch of black scholars I originally had dismissed as Uncle Toms, and irony now is I get called an Uncle Tom all the time. So I got what was coming, but yeah, and then I realized that actually I've always been a conservative. I just didn't know it, and economically speaking, of course, the conservative arguments make the most sense.
Does that bother you that people call you an Uncle Tom?
No, not at all. First off, because if they read the book, Uncle Tom was the hero. But also because I get it. How can I fault people for something that I would have engaged in for the majority of my life? I thought the same thing about black conservatives. Like, I thought it was this betrayal, but I never actually understood it. It was just an emotional response. And I think that kind of is, if you come out of the public school system.
Can I tell you honestly something? Candice Owens, her type of, like, match are people like Piers Morgan. You can't take on to BBC. They're not going to be able to go.
No, exactly. There's more black political figures in America that she can go up against.
Yeah,
who have gone on the Breakfast Club as well. Why don't they make these debates happen?
I know. They don't want to. And you know what, actually? Someone like Candice Owens ain't going to show her face. You think, who's going to go to a battle that they can't win? No one walks into a ring and starts a fight that they can't win.
Yeah, I don't know if you remember, like, Revolt a few years ago done, like, a conference, T.I., Mike GLC. Obviously, I don't know, you probably don't know about it.
I don't know.
It was P. Diddy's.
Of course it was.
Set this up.
If
you
haven't checked our videos on
Black excellence. Everything was pear-shaped for him. God and black excellence.
If you haven't watched, check out our P. Diddy videos as well. We've got lots to say on them.
Please. Yeah. She was on there, and it was like, she felt like everyone was coming after her, innit?
Yeah.
Her and T.I. Like,
oh, God. What a lineup.
And he was like, you said it was some bullshit. The crowd is just getting behind T.I. in it. Like, Candice Owens, listen, man, we're going to whoop your ass today. You're not in one of those spaces where you usually...
Answer the question, because you're quick to say that a threat that you perceived, the language of him saying that he was going to go DEFCON 3, and just to be clear, DEFCON 3 is a defensive military position on some Jewish people, or Jewish people as a whole. I don't remember the exact tweet. You just said that you felt
DEFCON 3.
What is this? What is it?
DEFCON 3 is a system the US military uses to describe how ready its personnel should be for nuclear war. DEFCON 5 is everything is normal. And DEFCON 1 is be at your stations. Expect orders from a nuclear launch at any moment. The US has never reached DEFCON 1, but likely at DEFCON 2 during the Cuban Missile Crisis. So what's this got to do with Jewish people? Kanye said, I remember that tweet, he said, I'm going to go DEFCON 3 on Jewish people. All right, the second bit of that, you could argue.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That it's offensive to Jewish people.
Yeah, it is.
But obviously, they're going to run with that.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. But also, can we also just please, it's Kanye West. Why? It's been years since we all know how unhinged
That's why they're
this
doing
man
it.
is.
With his massive platform, in the words of Piers Walker. We have to laugh. This is a pantomime.
This is an actual.
You know what I'm saying?
It's an actual
I love
movie.
It. You don't need Netflix. You got this shit coming out.
Literally, why would you watch Netflix? Honestly, just sign up and watch YouTube. Shout out to Netflix though, in case you wanted that.
Yeah, Ja Rule there, asking him a couple questions about why the UK not letting him into the country, and then it went from that to like, what do you think about the Israel-Hamas war? Ja Rule said, none of my business.
Imagine. Brilliant. Classic. Of course he did.
Felt that was clearly anti-Semitic. And now I'm asking you, is it clearly racist? What is it clearly when a Jewish man says to a black man, that they're going to drug them out of their minds, effectively MK Ultra them, and your visits with your children will never be the same? Because if you're asking me between the two, which is worse, it's obviously what Harley Pasternak wrote to Kanye West, which was not reported in the media.
Because he didn't put that in the tweet.
Okay, but Kanye tweeted it. Kanye tweeted it publicly. Harley Pasternak
did after the furore blew over his original
but why
tweet.
didn't it trend? Why wasn't there the same outrage?
He didn't talk about one Jewish person. He talked about Jewish people.
I am asking you why the public was not as outraged as when somebody threatens to drug someone out of their mind. As a very...
You see what's also smart about Candice as well, and I've noticed that Piers does as well. They say the same horrific thing, like they're so aware of how they communicate, like they pick up on the same things, like this DEFCON 3. Like they say the same thing. Like why were you not outraged when this guy said he was gonna drug
it's great,
Kanye?
Greatest hits, like verbal masturbation. It's like on steroids.
Wow, I've never heard that terminology before.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Isn't it? This is...
well, here we are.
Serious, real threat. And it was the same person, as he said, was the person who first put him in the hospital the first time.
Right.
You seem to be okay with it. You're just sort of like, well...
No, of course I'm not okay with it.
His tweet was so much worse. You're talking about taking away somebody's kids, putting them into a hospital, and drugging them out of their mind. Where is your outrage?
Well, I do not know the background to what you're saying.
Why does it seem to be that is always the circumstance? Like whenever
Candice, with respect, you
are. He's found the one.
No.
For some reason,
he asked her onto the show.
This is very important. Let me finish this.
She's got the hand out.
This seems to be a trend that I recognize. I saw this with Rabbi Shmuley.
Oh shit!
Shoulder.
The hack daughter.
Okay? This rabbi openly threatened me, my family, my livelihood. Him and his daughter did this for 2 years. There was no outrage. None. Zero. In fact, you booked Rabbi Shmuley, didn't even ask him about it. Did you? Are you threatening him? And then all of a sudden, I do nothing. And the full media is accusing me of anti-Semitism. Why does there seem to be this double standard that specific Jewish people, if they want to, can threaten the lives of black people?
There is the black card.
Welcome home, Candice. We've missed you. How are you, sweetheart? How has it been?
It's absolutely exemplary.
Where's she been? Where have you been, darling? Where have you been? Candice, you're back home. Where have you been, babe?
I say keep that foolery over there.
Where have you been? Where has she been? She's come home. She's come home.
Oh,
she's
my
come back home.
So she's had to change her heart from slavery being a net profit.
Oh my gosh, she's back home.
In
she's
Africa.
come back home. You know, because she got fired. She's got fired. You know, I mean, granted, when I got married, I was like, maybe I've stopped the coonery as well. You know, like, people just you just be like, you know what? Actually, let me return back to my roots.
Are you saying the coonery eventually backfires?
It comes back to you. You can't play it for so long. You have to be who you are. And if you're in this sphere as well, and you have such a massive platform, it is unfair, unjust, irresponsible for you to constantly back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. We need to live in a time where people are saying things and mean what they say.
And she needs
They're
to be held
genuine
accountable.
and she's never held accountable. These people are not held accountable. Only they can hold each other accountable. You see, that's why Piers and Candice can go head to head, because they can. They talk the same nonsense language.
Exactly. It was intellectual,
you can't go
verbal masturbation.
You can't speak. You can't speak to Candice and Piers with an educated person. They will never call an educated, like, professional with clear understanding of a specific topic. There's so many historians that could come and tell Piers what genocide means.
No, there have been, like, Professor Finkelstein.
Okay.
He is a
world-renowned
just scholar on the Israel and Palestine situations.
Yeah.
You know, someone even asked him, it's like, why are you on here debating people like Destiny, another popular YouTuber, isn't it, with mad hair, white guy.
I have no idea.
He's been on Piers Morgan's show plenty of times. You know what I'm saying?
How many times has the scholar been?
Do you know what I'm saying? So the guy will say, why are you debating? Because the internet's quite new to normal Finkelstein.
Yeah. Yeah, of course.
And he's actually inherently Jewish himself, but he calls out, obviously, Israeli and IDF.
No, he's just a human being.
Terrorism.
He's a human being. He's not a Zionist.
Right. So they call him anti-Semitic.
No, of course they do.
even though he's Jewish himself.
I don't even know what's going on anymore about this. I don't know what it means.
Do you know what I'm saying? So they asked him, like, why are you debating people like that? Because there was the video of him, like, calling Destiny, you know, I think it was a fantastic, like, idiot or something like that. And I was thinking the same thing. And literally, this guy asked him, like, and it was just like, you know what? He was so humble. So, you know what? I'm new to the space, and anyone that gives me a platform, really, it helps. It helps me, and it helps me educate people.
Other
Because
people.
I've read books upon books on this on this
These topics.
war.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? So it's mad because when he goes on certain platforms, they try and demean him and belittle him.
Of course they
with
do.
their intellectual masturbation.
Yeah.
And when this guy knows more than anyone you can bring on.
Yeah.
And then they have other YouTubers coming on. Piers Morgan will have famous YouTubers going on and making them like an important voice in this serious.
I understand why they bring
thing
all of
going on.
these other like YouTubers. It's the same way that we're even just reviewing this, right? Of
No,
course.
definitely.
We
Agreed.
all have to be involved in. These are the people who are like.
Yeah, they've got microphones.
Yeah, yeah. And they're the ones that are actually saying things that are outrageous or are powerful or divisive or like create some kind of movement in some way. We want to. We're commentators as well. We want to. We want to shine a light on the wrongs and the rights that these people do. However, we always. I think a fly on the wall, one of the things that we will always do, which separates us from someone like Piers Morgan and Candice Owens, is that we will always refer to facts and to educated individuals who can actually provide us with the right information. We read a lot on these things. We don't just come up and be like, I feel this is how it is. And oh yeah, Kanye West. We'll talk about these certain things in reference to like scholars that you are mentioning. Like now, I'm like, okay, cool. You've already informed me. Piers Morgan does bring other people, but why does he not bring them on more often? Why has he not brought him to help answer this question about genocide? They're strategic. The producer knows what they're doing. This is a TV show. This is a game show. Actually, it's a game show. This is a game show. How many insults can you throw at the other person without them like losing their mind?
Yeah, that's it. Like looking for gotcha moments.
Basically.
And there's not the same response. Like, why wasn't Rabbi Shmuley trending for 2 years over what he said about
I don't really, to be honest with you, we're going to come to Rabbi Shmuley, and I might share a lot of your views about Rabbi Shmuley, but the point that you seem to be wanting to move on from and deflect from...
I'm not moving on from it. I'm telling you that I had more information.
Your response was to Kanye saying... When I wake up, I'm going DEFCON 3 on Jewish people.
Piers, you've said this 3 times, and we've
I
talked
know,
about it 3
because you
times.
don't
I think
want to
your
answer the
audience is getting
question.
bored. I told you the reason why I said that is because I was
not the
aware
one.
of multiple people in his life that were doing something. There's no point in belaboring the point. I've answered your question.
I'm simply asking you.
Accept it.
I'm simply asking you, when you say if you are an honest person, you did not think this tweet was anti-Semitic, you're saying that I'm dishonest because I believe what he said was anti-Semitic. And I think that's ridiculous.
I am saying that, well, first off, just to start back at the beginning of this interview, I think you're dishonest for a lot of other reasons. So please don't harp on this one tweet. But yeah, because you flip-flop on your positions the entire time.
Yes,
Candice.
Like what?
About you.
But, I've got you.
Everything.
I've got you now.
You flip-flopped on COVID. You flip-flopped on...
Look at your facial. Look at Piers Morgan's facial expressions now.
Can I just say, she knew that she had to come home strong. You know? She had to come home. She couldn't come home. She had to come home and she had to drag someone when she came home. So welcome. Let's go. Because actually, Piers is very annoying.
Yeah.
And he's actually, I think she says a chronic fence.
And he's a difficult person to rattle.
And that's why she's getting him, because this is
He starts going red in the face.
The battle of the Titans.
This is what I'm saying.
1 minute you are supporting BLM, and then you're like, my son's out protesting, it's amazing. And then when they're burning stuff down, I don't find you to be someone that actually takes meaningful risks and says what you believe. You kind of take both positions all the time.
Well, actually, I'm not an
saying
ideologue about any of it.
Yeah,
So
chronic fence sitter.
don't pretend that the first time I ever
with
suggested
respect,
you were
I'm not an
dishonest with the
ideologue about
Kanye
any of
tweet.
these things. Right, so you want me
Okay.
to be an ideologue? You want me to stick to one side on everything?
No,
I
I'm just
don't do
saying that it seems like
Get out of it.
once the conversation cracks.
Get out of it, so I'll just sit the fence. You want me just to pick one side? Stand for something or fall for anything.
Yeah. This is the thing.
What do you mean? You're meant to, like, a basic job of a journalist is to hold people powerful accountable. Like, hold them to account.
Yeah.
That's, like,
Yeah.
rule number one.
Yeah.
You're- like, what you talking about, Piers Morgan? If you want to be considered a credible and a serious journalist, like, what are you on about?
Yeah.
You want me just to pick one side?
And
And,
it's
he's
not- and-
pretend- and what is, yeah, that's some pseudo tactics right there, because he's trying to go on like, I'm objective.
Yeah.
He's trying to purport that he's an objective journalist, which he's not. He's
Yeah.
obviously shown bias between Israel and Palestine
Yeah.
from start to finish. So this is the shit that we fucking call out over here.
Yeah.
So just in case it goes over people's heads, it's not going over ours.
Yeah. And to further your point as well, what Piers just said about to Candice saying you want me to stay on one side, you should stay on one side. If you have clear values, morals and principles on a specific topic,
Exactly.
regardless of however the topic comes out, your natural navigation will either always put you on the right side of your morals, principles and values. So if you hold the value of women and children's lives to be very important, it doesn't matter what side of any war is happening, you will always side with what your morals and principles reside on. But if you can't, that means you don't hold
Simple.
any clear morals, principles and values. So you are a chronic fence sitter. And that's a dangerous place to be in. People on the middle never get nowhere.
Cracks, and this is a lot of people in media, they don't take risks. They deliver the government talking points, and then they move once it kind of becomes okay to question the government. So COVID, this was the prevailing narrative. You were like, get the vaccine, da-da-da-da. If you don't do the vaccine,
Yeah.
blah, 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 blah. And then all of a sudden now we're finding out that, and you would have called someone like me, anti-vax, trying to kill someone, all of these things. Well, I didn't get the vaccine. My family didn't get the vaccine. And now we're on the other side of this thing, and people are like, well, maybe I had it wrong. Maybe I have some regrets.
What do you
Well,
think
why
I've
don't you
expressed
stop
regrets over?
going with the mainstream
hang
narrative
on,
in the
hang
beginning?
on. Don't just keep talking. What do you think?
Honestly, these guys, seriously, these two are
Can I
just,
get a word in?
these are like,
Someone
you
start
know.
talking me.
And actually, you know what? The other thing that I actually just want to end this with is just that this moment where she's just talking about, what is it? I just can't believe she's allowed to even say this kind of stuff. But
This is Candice Owens, darling.
Veering off
information.
into all sorts of other things. Let me just ask you on a more all-encompassing thing. Do you believe you're prone to promoting conspiracy theories?
I believe that I am aware where
He had to flip the script.
he's like,
I'm going to have to flip the script on you real quick.
he's like, do you believe that you're prone to like? Honestly, I just cannot believe that these two are allowed to even say.
Oh, but
This is crazy.
where the entire term of conspiracy theory came from. Do you know when that became fashionable?
Tell me.
Piers?
Piers?
No.
No.
So the first time that was sort of
CIA.
entered into the lexicon, that was a CIA term. And this is also gets into, and you can look this up right now, Operation Mockingbird, after JFK was killed and the government started employing journalists
This is
to
when
just
she's
repeat what they
doing
said.
the pop,
Right.
And
hand puppet.
What do you think
Very
happened to
much.
JFK?
Do you know when
He
that
was shot. I
word
think,
was
I
first
think everyone knows that.
Yeah, but who
initiated?
by?
You know, how did he die?
I have
He
no
was
idea.
trapped.
This is-
I mean, do you support any conspiracy theory about the JFK shooting?
Do you know? Do you? I mean, I don't know. I
You
wasn't
referenced
alive
it.
when I did.
Look, listen, I would hate to be married to this woman. No! You'll catch a case.
Honestly.
You will catch a case. Imagine. You know what? I don't even think she's like this at home.
Oh no, I don't think so. I think this is this is like a personality. You have to, like you have to have this. Like, I don't know.
Sometimes we can get caught up. You got to stop yourself and be like, all right, okay, look.
Reality, yeah.
When the cameras are on,
yeah,
it's showtime. Well,
Yeah.
I think she's still obviously got this side to her.
There is an element of this. There must be this undertone of sassiness there. You know what I mean? For sure.
No, I was referencing it to tell you a historical point about Operation Mockingbird. And
So back to my original question. Do you think you promote?
Hold on, can I just finish my thought? You're asking me questions and you're giving me 5 seconds to respond.
Well, no, you're not asking
my
a
point
question.
to answer you about the conspiracy theory before you're asking me about JFK getting shot.
You're giving me the history of conspiracy theories.
Oftentimes, what the media does, and I do believe that people watching the show are awake to this.
Honestly, she's so actually powerful in how she just communicates certain things. She knows exactly what she wants to say, and that's really quite. It's amazing to watch.
I believe you didn't live for the first 30 years. I would just give you 80,000 pictures of me and call you completely insane. I wouldn't sue you because it's ridiculous.
Why should Brigitte Macron have to do anything?
Because it takes less time to show some photos of yourself than it does to sue journalists in court and to have the Secret Service go after them. When they're working. She's not acting like she has nothing to hide.
Yeah, but Candice, here's the problem. You see. I think
and also we know that Emmanuel Macron is also a gay man, according to the person who came out right when he was elected and said that he was sleeping with Macron in all those articles, which lends more plausibility. And beyond the fact whether you think she's a man or not, do you not think the story is weird of the age difference, like hitting on a 14-year-old little boy that you went to school? So there's perversion there.
Piers,
it's sick.
you've bitten off more than you could chew.
I do think that's weird. Yes, I do.
Yes, so there's some weird perversion going on in that relationship. We know Emmanuel Macron had affairs with men. We know that we can't trace Brigitte Macron for the first 30 years of her life.
Yeah.
It seems pretty simple to just come out and say, there's something weird happening in that relationship.
A lot of people agree with Candice Owens.
I think you're a smart person.
People like Alex
I
Jones.
think you're a compelling talker. I understand why you have
echoed that.
And you make a lot of interesting points about all sorts of issues, right? I do genuinely believe that. But when you set your stall, you actually said here, I would stake my entire professional reputation on the fact that Brigitte Macron is in fact a man.
I think the president of France's wife is a pedophile on record when he was 14. It's on record. Oh, so you're for teachers?
But is she a man? Is she a man?
Are you
like
for...
Candice
I think she looks like a man. I'm going to ask you, 14-year-olds, is it okay for a teacher to have sex with 14-year-old students?
You know what? That is a very fair question. It's a completely different question saying that she is a man. I asked you something different. Candace Owens did not bring up whether she was having sex with a juvenile. Candace Owens said that she is a man. I'm asking you, and Candace Owens said, I will leave my show and give up my professional reputation if I'm proved wrong. I'm asking you, Alex Jones, is Brigitte Macron a man?
I think she's not just a man. He's a pedophile and he's ugly. He's got a big old Adam's apple. And I believe the president of France's wife is a disgusting pedophile.
That's the problem. In that second, with that statement, your entire professional reputation goes up in smoke because it's a complete load of bullshit.
You have not disproven anything. You have an entire. You're just using adjectives here.
Joe Biden's a woman. Show me the proof he's not.
He's getting whooped. Look, you don't see him. This is rare.
To have his face like this.
Yeah.
He's out of control.
This is rare.
He's out of control. And
he's going out of character a little bit.
And Candice is so comfortable. Look at her. She's in it because she knows her. However wild she is, this is who she is.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me.
Show me the proof Donald Trump isn't transgender.
There are tons of photos of Joe Biden growing up.
I think Donald Trump was born a woman. Show me the proof.
Okay, there are tons of photos of Trump 20 years ago on Oprah. What are you saying? That's why I'm saying it's this easy.
You don't believe this. You've just done it. You've just done it to run riot with a conspiracy theory.
Okay, you can keep saying conspiracy theory. Just know that we're living in this post-mainstream media world, so it's not going to discount my people are not going to stop listening to me. In fact, what's going to happen on the basis of this interview is more people are going to go pursue the primary source and read the report of these 3 journalists that have been harassed by the state of France.
I hope they do.
Stop cutting me off. Exactly, because they cannot trust people like you to just keep calling everything conspiracy theories. It doesn't. It's not going to impact my platform whatsoever. In fact, while you were peddling conspiracy theories, whether that be BLM or COVID, I was the person that was telling them the opposite, and those things turned out to be true.
It's like
so
a
what's actually
lullaby.
happened is that I have built up a repertoire of someone that they can trust because they know that I don't just say what the
Honestly,
state wants me to say.
I actually am
and that I'm
amazed
willing to
when I watch
question
them like
things.
this.
What I have said on my platform multiple times is
rapper
I'm willing to
or
say
actress.
that this report has been disputed. It
Or
just
drum and
simply
bass
hasn't
MC.
been yet.
Anything.
All they keep doing is showing a picture of Tafan, Brigitte's daughter, and recolorized in black and white, and going, "Oh no, this is her as a kid."
And as a mother
it's 30
yourself.
years of living. Just show a photo of yourself. We don't
And
need to be
as a
debating
mother-
it. Just show a photo of
And
yourself.
as a mother yourself, you have no
Yeah, that's true.
qualms about the hurt that you're causing her kids with this kind of claptrap.
Claptrap.
I mean, eye roll. Please stop with the sensitivity. You've decided that you want to lead a country, okay? Honesty is demanded. More journalists should be prodding into the story internationally to see what's actually going on here, because at best, you have a perverted story that, in my view, leads way too closely into pedophilia. Just a story of how they got together is weird. You have a allegedly gay man, the person who's had gay affairs with him, has spoken out, talked about the drugs
they're
that he's
bookie.
done
The
with Macron, and you
are
have
bookie.
these two people who
All right.
are utterly demented leading the state of France. So
Like
I'm
you-
not going to
like
sit
you
here
said,
When I say
people will
bookie,
and go
suspicious
into,
for
but
those
you're a
who don't
mommy,
know.
don't you care, Candice, about how she's feeling? No, it's perverted. At best, Brigitte Macron is a pervert.
Look how he lets that land. And I think that we should finish it there. I think we should close it there on that note.
Oh my days, Brigitte Macron. Oh my days. Oh, I am done.
Basically,
Listen, he's dismissing those points as conspiracy theories when that is very debatable. There is a lot of research out there that kind of adds credibility to everything that Candice Owens is saying. But it's up to you to decide.
you guys let us know what you think. Let us know
Yeah.
what you think on the points that we've raised in this. Like, you should actually go and watch this for yourself and then let us know. We're here to encourage people. We want feedback. We want to know your thoughts on this as well.
The Macrons, him and his wife, they're not on your ordinary family. No way. In 1993, at the age of 40, she met the then 15-year-old Emmanuel Macron in La Providence High School, private school, where she was a teacher and he was a student, and a classmate of her daughter. She divorced Ozier, I can speak French, so in January 2006, and married Macron on the 20th of October 2007. She has 7 grandchildren. Is that a normal person to you?
Well, she met this boy when he was okay. Yeah. So I
So
mean,
he was having an affair with his married teacher. So this is the person who he's married to.
Yeah. Okay. So
What do you think of that, Sharon?
That is a very crazy.
It's just about legal. What does that mean? Just because it's legal, it doesn't mean it's right.
No. It's not even legal or anything. Like, when she met him, that shouldn't have even been in like that. It's wild to think that you can. No. And so when Candice brings up stuff like this, it actually is. It's food for thought.
It's food past these people.
But it's
really,
food,
that's what I've got to say.
Exactly, and it's food for thought. Do you know what I mean? That's the thing. It's good that there's these people actually raising these points and actually having and bringing these things to our attention, because we need to discuss it. It needs to be said on platforms like this where we question the status quo. You know?
Exactly. At best, Brigitte Macron is a pervert. Alex shows as well. He recently, him and Rabbi Shmuley were going back and forth, and he brought that up. Rabbi Shmuley brought that. She's a pedophile.
Oh my god.
Alex shows. Listen, Sharon. You're gonna get to know these people.
I'll get to know.
Let us know what you think about this interview. This phenomenal interview with Piers Morgan and Candice Owens. We laugh and joke about these things, but this is the mode that we live in now.
Yeah, exactly.
Where these people have
they reign supreme.
Yeah, platform. Could say all these types of mad things out here. So we're over and out. Subscribe, like, share, all of that.
Peace. Bye.